I've titled this podcast, Why Some VIP Members Win Fast and Why One Didn't. And yesterday, I put out a video on my YouTube channel. If you want to go over and see that, it's titled 2 of my favorite VIP stories. I'd encourage you to do that. You can either go through Bruce Whipple YouTube or brucewhipple.com and get over to that. But in that video, I talked about 2 VIP Mastermind members and what actually changed for them. But not just financially, also what changed for them personally. And today I want to build on that a little bit. I want to share a couple more examples, and I also want to share one story that didn't go the way people like to hear. Because the truth is this process works, but not for everyone. And understanding why is just important as hearing the wins. So let's talk about a couple of examples of wins. Let's start with Roger. Roger built his board in 6 weeks. That's a good accomplishment. Many people don't do it in 6 weeks. And he said that in an interview I did with him, that something that really stood out to me. And he said, they say the things you say they're going to say. They ask the questions you say they're going to ask. And people don't believe that, especially the big hitters, it's some of the easiest conversations you're going to have. And yes, they only ask a few questions, usually the same questions, and they end up saying the things you're going to say, and the magic words you want to hear are, yeah, I'm interested if I can contribute. But what he was really saying is preparation removes fear. When you know what's coming, when you understand the psychology of who you're talking to, and when you already have rehearsed the conversations in your head, and yesterday I talked about Chris doing that, confidence follows that action, not the other way around. And Roger didn't magically become a different person. He didn't suddenly turn into an extrovert. He followed the process, and the process worked. He did, however, after a lot of earlier success, change his why from not focused on him, but what he could do in helping other people as well, which was, I think, critical. So great success, building the board quickly. The second is Herman. And Herman has acquired a business, but what really struck me wasn't just the acquisition. It was what he said about the experience. And what he said is, you don't see it from the outside, but once you're in the mastermind, you realize how much it improves your life, not just financially, but personally too. And then he gave some very specific examples. He lost 25 pounds, he improved his relations, and he built more freedom in his life. All from applying the same principles he learned in the VIP Mastermind. That's something people don't expect when they come in. This isn't just about buying businesses. It's about becoming the kind of person who can lead them as well. And running the business is just important, or maybe arguably more important, than acquiring the business. So those are 2 examples of success. But now I want to talk about something less comfortable, but I think very important. I had a mentee early on in my mentoring in the VIP Mastermind for about 5 years. He was a very accomplished guy earlier in his life. He was smart, he was capable, and on paper, you would think he would do great. You would have bet on him. But he never built a board. He didn't get one single member on that board. And at one point, he asked me to make him more accountable. I said I could do that, so I gave him a very simple challenge. Get your chairman in the next 2 weeks, I think it was. And then he said, could you put some teeth behind that? And I said, yeah. If you don't do it, you'll donate $100 to your opposition political party. He was heavily into one of the political parties in the United States. It was during the presidential election. And so if he didn't do it, he was going to have to donate $100 to he was in the Republican Party, the Democrat Party. And he said, oh, that would kill me. So you would think that would be enough, but it wasn't. He still didn't build it. That wasn't a strategy problem. That wasn't a knowledge problem. He knew what to do. That was a self-image, self-esteem, and action problem. And if someone doesn't genuinely believe they belong in the room, no amount of tactics will save them. And that's something that I see a lot of, in the beginning, especially when you haven't had success. So why does all this matter? A lot of people struggle early in the process because they haven't had a win yet. That creates what was referred to by many as imposter syndrome, or as one mentee said to me when he was just about ready to close his acquisition, which he did, "This shit's getting real, Bruce." But the people who work on their self-image, who learn to see themselves in the future instead of trapped in the past, those are the people who move forward. That's exactly what I talked about yesterday with Chris. He was introverted, doubtful, struggled early, was talking about the $20 million apartment that he was going to see the billionaire in and how terrifying that was. But we talked about imagining that meeting, seeing it in the future. And when he did that, he said everything changed. So I hope you take lessons from both those. Right now, the VIP Mastermind is open, but only until next Wednesday. And next Wednesday and Thursday, we're doing 2 days of live virtual training for the VIP members. And if you join by next Wednesday, you can attend that, which is a great way to get started. It's deep training with my marketing director and myself. We go through marketing, sales, psychology, and it's some of the best work we do. If you want details, go to brucewhipple.com, look under coaching and the VIP Mastermind. There's no sign-up button. You'll see my personal mobile number there, no call center, no trick to get you to call and then talk to somebody who is going to try to sell you. You will get me, or you'll get my voicemail, depending upon when you call. I talk to everyone before they join because it's important that they're a good fit. Because this works, but only if you're willing to work on both the strategy and the psychology. And if yesterday's stories or maybe today's podcast felt familiar to you in many ways, maybe that's your signal to begin, and I hope you do. So I hope I hear from you, and talk soon.